Hello, good afternoon, Corrie Thorne, spiritual healer, coming in to do my monthly channel messages for April. You have not seen me in March. There was nothing posted, and it's late in April now. It's the 7th, but it's a perfect day because that's the day of um in the tarot. That's kind of our shift day of when we stop battling with ourselves, we stop fighting with ourselves. So this this reading is going to be for Scorpio, is who I'm getting in my head right now. I've already recorded Aries and Pisces. So this is for Scorpio. We are using my deck of Oracle cards, the Everyday Goddess Oracle, that are not out yet. These are we are beta testing these and seeing how they feel and if I'm happy with them. This is not the look of the back anymore either. This has changed. So, interesting. So Scorpio, innocence, grace, number one. And as I said, like today is 7, we're at that kind of that pivotal peak of when you've climbed over some hurdles, you've been through a lot of things, you've been through a lot of challenges. And I just feel like it's like, oh, it's like you finally start to come back into that stage of just like freeing yourself of, oh, I've been there. It's like, but some of you are in the stage of returning to the innocence and seeing yourself as before you made a bad choice, before you made wrong decisions, seeing yourself before that time. Others of you are playing innocent. Others of you are playing innocent, and you know what you have done, you know what you're doing to yourself, and you keep doing it. And so it's kind of coming up everywhere here. And so one is that, you got to take the first steps. You got to take the first action steps. And I feel like you're right here, right now, that there's opportunities that are here for you to free yourself of things of the past, and you have the opportunity to let it go, to make the change, to do something different, and it's going to be on you. It is up to you to do that. And it's like she's standing there on her own, like this, the love is wrapped around you, you're full of love. She's wearing her beautiful yellow dress, she's got her little lotusy flower right here on her waist. She's not holding it in her hands, she's got it right there. She's been keeping it for safekeeping for the day she's ready, for the time when she's ready. And so seeing yourself through the eyes of the child allows you to allow yourself to have compassion and kindness and love for you to return to grace, to be able to walk in grace, to see yourself as worthy no matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done. You have an opportunity, and you have to own that opportunity, walk in that opportunity, and live in that opportunity. And then we have Beatrice, and she comes in as she's a mother energy. So maiden. This is maiden. This is mother. Ooh. And so this is mother energy. And so I'm like, oh, I just said that wrong on my live. I just remembered. If you're watching this later and you see on my live and you're saying, hey, you called that card. No, I messed up my words. And so attachment to Beatrice is that, I guess maybe I didn't. Maybe that's what they wanted me to say. And so this is Beatrice attachment. It's like as long as you're so attached to what you can't do or what was holding you back or trying to be somebody else, Scorpio, the more that you literally are away from yourself. There's many versions of you. See, she's looking to her future, but you're trying to take all parts of you, all of who you try to be of somebody else or in somebody else's energy or make somebody else be in there. It's like you're looking in. So you have the opportunity to see. And there's our beautiful bee, and the bee defies all odds. And this card was created out of a conversation that I even had with um, one of my friends, and it was about she always wanted long hair, and she was always told she couldn't have long hair because it was too fine, too stringy, too da da, and that it would never look good. And she always wanted long hair. And so I created a card that had long hair, and she does have long hair in the back there. It's pinned back, it's up. And it's like there is a way to have long hair. It's like you can defy all odds. Just because it's fine, don't mean you couldn't have that long hair. It's just that it was, somebody else's story that you lived in. So then you always kept short hair because you couldn't have long hair. And that's not a truth, right? So you can defy all odds. There's ways around it. And so sometimes you have to work your way around the things that you think are impossible, Scorpio. And for some reason, you keep yourself on the ground and you think, well, I can't fly. Well, you are Scorpio. So, that scorpion is mostly going to be on the ground, but you can fly, you can climb the tree, you can find a different way of doing it instead of being defined by the ways that you have been told previously. So the heart is in this card as well, and it's heart healing. So there's a lot of heart healing for you in April for those under Scorpio. I feel like it's just like you have been either biting yourself, like attacking yourself, or under attack, or defending yourself, or protecting yourself for some of you, that it's just been there. But I feel like you're really holding yourself out of back from something. And it's time for you to be honest with yourself. And there you are. There's Corina looking at you. And, that's my truth. That's who I was born as, was that Corina, but I never lived as her. And so this is you. Like, this is the awareness of the truth. When you got to come home and remember who you are, where you come from, what you are, and what matters to you and what's important to you, is that you have to own your shit. You got to own what you do. You got to own your responsibility. But that card just came up hugely in my live that I just did. And we talked a lot about walking into the light and seeing beyond light. It's one thing to live in our light. It's like to be embodied in that light and the purity and the healing. And then to be able to see beyond that light is absolutely amazing what you can see. So in that letting old things die is that you get the opportunity to look beyond another veil, to look at another opportunity for another life, to be able to move into some sort of new energy is what I have coming up for you. Oh, sorry, I had to pause here. But it's just this, like, I just feel like it's like wherever you've been, whatever you've been battling with. And I feel like for some of you, it has been relationships and in relationship to you. And so the first and foremost of relationships that you have to repair is the one with you, and the one that you've been having with you, and the one that you've been avoiding with you. And so the person that you avoid, the person that you neglect is usually always ourselves. And so here's Delilah, and she's in the awakening. She fell out onto the floor. And you're being told that this is your time of awakening that's coming up into May, into June. I just feel like you're going to have this awakening, this aha moment of where the hell have I been? Where have I been? Why have I been missing out on my life? What was I? Where was I? And it's like it's like you all of a sudden just come up out of the dark, because you just come out of the basement, like you just open the door and you're starting to see, and you're like, what the hell? Who was that? And where'd that come from? And it's almost like there's some sort of attachment that has been like you just got so obsessed and so connected into a story and into this desired outcome that you lost your focus, that you forgot that you could fly, you forgot about the things that you could do, and that you're starting to come through this awakening moment, this that no matter where you've been. And so Delilah, she lost faith in herself, and she got afraid, and she got scared, and she did something that cost a lot of people a lot of things, and she did something that cost another a lot. And in that, she had to live with that. And that was like, and so forgiving herself for what she had done, for what she had done, caused a lot of pain, but it also then awakened another story. And so something new is coming in for you, and you have to be prepared and ready to be able to start walking that journey, to rise up, to sit in your new truth. And it's your new truth allows you to create a new life. So for a lot of those born under Scorpio sign, you're really going to be walking in a new light. So, and then we also have Shyama, who is the light in the dark, and she's not in the shadows, she's out of the shadows. She knows what it's like. She knows the falsehood, she knows the false story, she knows the lies we tell ourselves. Those trees are not really trees, they are shadows, and we believe it to be true, right? And so everything that we can convince ourselves to be true that we find out is not a truth, we're finding that out coming up here, April, May. I'm like, and so you always hold that light of returning to grace, returning to who you were, what you are, and to return to the light of you, to return to the truth. Some of you are going to have to go through a breakup or a let go or a change in relationship. I feel like that's really there. There's some health issues in shoulders and um, here, these little bones right here, for some reason, I feel like are really truly affecting you. And I feel like this is all part of that energy center of the throat area, throat chakra, whatever you want to call it. I call it both. It depends on what work I'm doing. And that right here. And it's like, so there's a lot of that blue energy around you, pink and blue. And so with the pink and blue, you can call in the angelic realm to also be with you. And then I'm also using, that's my deck of cards. And then I'm going to validate it with Radley Valentine's deck of cards, who I first trained with years ago, him and Doreen, many, many years ago. When I first started, I actually did their first live angel course that they taught Angel Tarot when the first deck came out, and I was in the very first class. And then I had a reading with Bradley when he was still actually on one of those 800 numbers, and Bradley actually did a reading for me. And I sent Bradley a message a few years ago and said that somehow, some way, I know the universe is aligning us to somehow work together. And I don't know how, but I'm putting it back out there again. I'm announcing it to the world again somehow. But what I'm being told is to validate this is that, see, there's changes coming from you. I feel like it's like there's changes. You're changing career, you're going back to school. There's 8, and this is infinity. And I feel like this is like your original call. You're being called back to your original call, to who you were. And I feel like that's why the changes are coming. I feel like there's a big move for some of my Scorpio. I feel like some of you are moving like far away, farther away from where you've ever been, and see endings and new beginnings. I'm like, validate that for me. And there's a release. Endings. You're about to shift, move. You're moving a lot of things. You're moving your energies, you're moving your thought, you're purifying. Is like the unicorn, this magical energy that's coming in to restore your faith, to restore your trust, to restore who you originally were, and to bring you back into yourself. And I just feel like you're letting people go. You're letting people go from your life. You're letting things go that have taken you to living in the dark, but you're fully coming into like a whole new life. Like you're creating a new life. You're working with a new life. You're building a new life. For some of you, it's a big change in a job. Some of you, it's a big change, and some are going back to school. It's like you're braving that. You're taking that courage. And there's your wise counselor. And the wise counselor is just telling you like you're that unity, to be unified, to stop being tempted to lose yourself, to fall away. You're spiritually starting to grow. That age, that stage where you got stuck, where you lost that sense of innocence, that sense before all of that happened, is you're returning to there, and you're bringing her forward now in an adult form. And whatever it was that happened, what or her or him, whatever it was that happened in the past, no longer is defining, because you can no longer use it as an excuse because it's too far gone. And now you have to set yourself free of that, and you're going to be seeing a lot of big changes come in your life this month. April the 11th is 12th is around the new moon, and there's some big new moon shifts, and so the new you. And I just feel like you're just waking up. It's like you're coming up out of the dark, and you're just like, holy fuck, where have I been? And you're just rising up into that light. So much, much love to you. Have a beautiful April, and I'll see you all in May.